Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co., and this is News and Week in Review. We're going to be going through the usual suspects, the topic of the week, the games I played, the pieces of news, that's a part of the whole news piece, and then of course the Week in Review, all the various videos of the week. As usual, timestamps and links to everything down below, but let's go ahead and start this off as usual with news. Starting off with Keystone, North America, is returning to Kickstarter in a brand new, very pretty second edition box, I will say. It's a second edition box. They're looking to make the expansion compatible with the first edition. I don't know if there will or won't be an upgrade kit yet, but I mean, part of it is a box, which is always hard, and then part of it's the card designs being reprinted, which you'd have to basically resell you the entire game for the most part. So first edition owners are likely going to be a little upset. Like, I like the game enough that I'm probably just going to pick up the second edition because I really do enjoy this one, but it is always hard, especially, but then I can't deny the box does have a visual appeal to it that does, I think it will enhance its popularity. The practical reality is that things that look pretty sell more, and as much as the old box thought was fine, I think the new box is finer. So that's going to be coming back to Kickstarter at some point. I don't actually know if there's a date over here. There might be a date. If there is, I don't know exactly when it is. It says 67 days from now. We got time. Then over here, speaking of Kickstarter, we have... something's wrong over here. Let's try to refresh over here and see if this works. We have the Dice Tower Kickstarter with a stretch goal that I wanted to show you. Here we go. It's all working again. If we go to the updates over here, we have a new stretch goal that might be worth noting for those who are interested in supporting the Dice Tower. Where's my updates over here? They have an update where they basically have a new stretch goal that they're revealing at 380,000. So if they get to 380,000, Sam Healey will be mostly back. Not mostly back, partially back. Sam Healey might be going back to the Dice Tower part-time if they get to 380,000. He's not moving back. He's still going to be where he's going to be. He'll be joining them for some degree of content here and there. He'll be at more conventions, and he'll do a video a week or two, or some degree of some videos a week for the Dice Tower, while still maintaining his own channel, The Flip Side of Gaming. Speaking of which, go ahead and check that out if you haven't had a chance already. Sam Healey over on The Flip Side of Gaming. He has his own YouTube channel nowadays. But he might be joining Dice Tower again part-time. So that's an opportunity over here if they hit $380,000 on the Dice Tower Kickstarter. So if you are a fan of Sam Healey, or the banter, the dynamics, all of that, well, Sam Healey, and he also has a statement. You can go ahead and check out the statement as well if you want to go ahead and read through that from Sam over here on this page. From there, moving on, we have, I guess, one person possibly coming back and a whole bunch of people leaving, which is a good segue, but sad, so I don't know how I feel about that. We have Goliath brought Prospero Hall's game assets, but left its heart behind. Last week, we talked about how Goliath brought Prospero Hall, which has done a ton of money in sales, or more specifically, Goliath brought Prospero Hall's assets, which is currently the Funko Games team. Funko Games took over the team, and now Goliath's taken over that arm, and effectively, they've done a lot of sales, but they are still in the red. And so Goliath's taking them over, and unfortunately, it looks like they're leaving most of the team behind. Most of the team is going to be not being picked up, unfortunately. Some are being given the chance to transition, some are getting jobs, and the rest are being let go, unfortunately. Board Game Wire has a deep dive into this, which I highly recommend reading if there's something you're interested in. Really goes into it, speaking to a bunch of people behind the scenes. Very educational article, and it's sad. It's sad, there's no question. It's always, any conversation that results in people not having the job they had is sad. Speaking of which, and a random thing, I mean, I don't know about you or what your news feed looks like, but I feel like every single week, I get a new update about some company letting go of large sections of its staff. Whether it's Google, whether it's every video game company ever, Blizzard just let go of a bunch of people, or Riot Games letting go of people. Company after company is letting go of huge amounts of staff, which is, it's like, I'm glad I'm not a video game developer. Unfortunately, I do know video game developers, and I know some who have lost their jobs, and it sucks. It's like, I don't know what happened, but it is messy out there sometimes. So whatever you do have, I guess, be grateful of to an extent. Doesn't mean you shouldn't seek more. Always seek whatever the best you can for yourself, but it's a lot. It's a lot. Anyways, moving on over here. I feel like transitioning with an anyways is like in poor taste, but I don't know what to really do. So well, here we go. We got Steamforged Games. Steamforged Games with a message for the Guild Ball community. I kept trying to say Build Gall. The Build Gall community. Now, the Guild Ball community, a message for the Guild Ball community from Steamforged Games. Now, for context, let's give a little bit of disclaimers here. I am very friendly with the Steamforged Games team. I am friendly with Rich and Matt, who are in this video. I definitely have a bias towards liking Steamforged and the people behind Steamforged. Also, this video is clearly poorly received just by browsing through the comments. So some background, and I only know some background over here. I'll go into as much as I can. Just, again, remember my biases and all that. But basically, Steamforged Games ran Guild Ball. It's one of the things that brought them success. It was a very well-rated, well-loved system. They then abandoned it at one point, and to a certain extent, the messaging, whether intended or not, came across. I mean, I guess let's stick with it whether intended or not. I'm trying to report on news while being mindful of my relationships. Whether intended or not, the messaging came across as blaming the community. I was not there for that. I did not know anything about it. I didn't know about that. I wasn't into Guild Ball or the time. I had no context or knowledge at the time. I only know looking back. If you look back, I can find parts of the message. The original statement was, I believe, that blog post was deleted, but you can find segments that other news articles reported on, and it kind of comes down to the parts that I could find or read. Effectively said, hey, we built Guild Ball, it grew, but the community doesn't really want the new things and complains about everything being either not needed or OP, and that whole process isn't really working, and the new stuff isn't really wanted or desired, and there's a lot of pushback, so we're kind of just not supporting the game anymore. That's the part that I could find. There might be segments I'm missing, to be very clear. This is a news art aspect that I'm reporting on that I can only report on the stuff I found, and parts I found, the parts that I found I'm reporting on. So, effectively, yeah, there was some degree of blame for the community around the community's reaction to the continued content and the concerns about the balance of the game and structure and how it wasn't welcoming to new players. There were things like that, and so they shuttered the doors on Guild Ball. Now, I don't know the full extent of the community reaction to it. I know community people were unhappy about it, understandably so. I don't know the full level of anything else. Like, I've since seen, if you go through the comments in this video, there are people who are accusing them of, like, hey, you got Dark Souls as an IP cash grab, and so you abandoned your community and just blamed them instead. I don't know any of those reasons or aspects, anything. All I can speak to is what I'm seeing from the outside here. But past that, the message from the Guild Ball community over here, which is both good news and bad news. I guess it's exclusively good news, but I think it's good news combined with a poor taste in your mouth. That's probably what it is. So the good news with the poor taste in your mouth is that they have a video announcement. For those who are interested in Guild Ball, they are now introducing a Guild Ball print-on-demand service. They effectively are cleaned up a bunch of the miniatures, and you can go ahead and get your hands on some of the content, because now that they no longer make it, it's hard to get your hands on the content, and if you found the community, well, now here's a new opportunity for you to go ahead and get your hands on the stuff. That's basically what this 13-minute video announcement is. The problem is, reading through the comments, I genuinely cannot tell, again, balance my biases, but I genuinely cannot tell whether this is a poorly delivered apology or whether fans are just really upset about how it's handled, because the comments on this video, there's a lot of pushback on this this apology, effectively saying either too little too late, or it doesn't come across as genuine, you're talking to each other, not the camera. That part I can give context to. Sometimes that as a presentational approach can come across better. Clearly in this instance it has not. I mean, sometimes it comes across as more real, more engaged, but clearly in this instance it's not landing. So I can't, and if you go through the comments, there's a lot of people who are like, thank you for this apology, it's long overdue, and a lot of people who are like, go jump in the lake, this feels like you're just trying to make money off of a community that happened to not die. And so there's a large disparity in terms of the responses. I am not of the affected party. I am not emotionally attached to Guild Ball, I didn't play Guild Ball. To me, this feels like an apology that went from here to here, where based on how upset people are, it feels like the apology needed to go to here, which didn't happen. So I guess a few things here. One, Guild Ball is now available if you want to go ahead and purchase print-on-demand miniatures. Steamforged Games is now bringing that back. 2, some people are happy about that. 3, some people feel this is a not good enough apology that goes in the category of too little too late, and it might even open up wounds that haven't fully healed. So I guess that's our Guild Ball story with Steamforged Games and Guild Ball. Anyways, moving on over here. Moving on, we have Rebel Moon, the lawsuit. We talked about this a while ago, but Evil Genius Games had a lawsuit against Rebel Moon, against Netflix. They kind of shuttered the whole project, and after Evil Genius Games had to put a lot of money into it, and we don't really know a lot about what's going on, but they've come to an agreement and a conclusion, and there'll be things coming in the future, but not the Rebel Moon video, not the Rebel Moon RPG. So good news, bad news, I don't know. I guess it's good news-ish for Evil Genius Games. Unsure of who, I don't know who is invested in this, I don't know. But basically the lawsuit part is resolved. And whatever that means, I don't actually know past that because they just resolved it amicably. We have Brass Birmingham designer says next sequel aiming for Kickstarter in late 2024. Basically, Brass Birmingham, the #1 game on BGG right now, is going to have a crowdfunding campaign, going to have a Kickstarter coming for it in 2024. This was first teased like 3 years ago, so it's not like this is because it's #1 and they're trying to cash in on that. This was teased as being in the works for a long time, and it will be coming back to Kickstarter. So $1 million Kickstarter headed your way. I mean, I assume it'll be at least $1 million. If I had to guess, I'd say 2.5, maybe 2.5, maybe 3 million for a sequel to the #1 game of all time, as of right now at least. That's going to be Brass Birmingham coming to crowdfunding. Then we have over here, we have a site that I'm so happy exists. We have the boardgameoftheyear.org. I'll have a link to this down below, of course. But effectively, this takes an aggregate of a lot of reviewers. Specifically, there are 129 reviewers who are included in this to come up with a definitive ranking for the best board game of the year based on those 129 reviewers. You can go ahead and click through to find all those reviewers in case you want to. So if you want to see whoever's in there, I'm pretty sure I'm not, because I think the site came out just before, I think like Board Game Co., like our channel just did the top games this past week, and this was put out like right around then, so we're not included in that. But past that, in general, they talk about how the whole algorithm works. A #1 game gets 10 points, a #10 game gets 1 point, all that back and forth, who's included, how it's doing, see the full rankings. But now we know that Earth is currently the #1 game with, was it 342 points? 342 points. It's on 57 lists out of 129 reviewers. It has 342 points, which is absolutely insane. We have the White Castle at 168, which means the White Castle is the second most with 168 games. And I am curious how they handle certain things. Like I know Man vs. Meeple had a thing where they left Earth off this year because they had Earth on last year. I do wonder how they incorporate stuff like that, because that could be an extra 10 points for Earth, depending on how you count it. I don't know what they're going to do. But either way, I like the idea of this. This is an aggregate site, so you can go ahead and see the full rankings, see what's there. If you want to know the top 10 games of 2023, as of, well, 129 reviewers, we're going to go ahead and have, where is it over here? Starting from the top, we have Barcelona, we have Hegemony, Sky Team, Distilled, Darwin's Journey, Voidfall, Thunder Road Vendetta, Apiary, The White Castle, and Earth are in the top 10 games of 2023. But yeah, that's basically this list over here. So in case you're interested in seeing the number of games, all that, that is, I mean, Earth is killing by a landslide. We have like 342 for Earth, and then it's like The White Castle is 168 and Apiary is 164. So this is a list. This is a list, but I'm very happy this exists. You can scroll down, going all the way down, seeing what got, fewer or more points. You go all the way to the bottom and see, over here we have a number 45, like number 60 with only 22 points is Evenfall. I would have put Evenfall on my list, but I need to play it more. I only got to play it once, unfortunately. Maple Valley with 23 points, 57. So you can see there's a gap over here as far as how quickly they drop down, which is the nature of these lists. The part that's hard to deal with, although this is still amazing and incredible, the part that's impossible to deal with really is in a perfect system. You'd have to take into account who hadn't played a game. If I haven't played Earth, sorry, not Earth, if I haven't played Voidfall, well, that means Voidfall's not even in consideration of that list. So you'd have to figure out a ratio of the potential pool, the ratio of that pool from the people who played it, which, by the way, is way too much work. This is amazing. This is incredible. I love this. I love this. It's great. But ideally, if you could, in fact, boardgameoftheyear.org got rankings. Here's an idea for you if you really want to get into it. And then, by the way, I'll be shouting this out from today tomorrow. I think this is fantastic. I hope you do it every single year. It's absolutely incredible. But if you want to really another idea, you have some sort of mailing list of your 129 reviewers. Then you have them fill out a form of, hey, by the way, here's the top 50 or whatever it is. Can you just like mark what you played and not played or whatever it is? And then you can have some sort of interesting aggregate system that takes into account the rating, but only from the pool of people that have played it and assigns a ranking scale that way. It's doable, but it requires a lot of, opt-in consent from people to fill out these lists, which I don't know who would. I would in a heartbeat. I would love this. I think this is so cool. And then you have to obviously figure out how you deal with people who didn't fill out the list. Do you exclude their rankings entirely? Do you only include the pool of knowledge that you have? Either way, fantastic concept over here. Loving it very much, and I'm glad that you have an aggregate site. I've been looking forward to something like this for a long time. That is going to be the boardgameoftheyear.org. And that's what we have for the news of the week, which means the last thing we have over here is our topic of the week. And our topic of the week is basically going to be more news, and you'll see why in a second. For our topic of the week, I'm just going to go through a bunch of games because BGG's news site seems to be flooded right now, and this is not always the case. But right now, if you scroll through the news on BGG, it's new game, new game, new game, new game, starting with one that I'm excited about, which is the Lego game, Monkey Palace, coming from the Lego group in combination with Asmodee over here, which I'm excited for. Lego has put out some board game properties in the past. They haven't done particularly well, but I am excited to see how this does because my kids like Lego and I like board games, so the combination of the two, I'm very intrigued to see whether this is a hot pile of steaming garbage or something that is actually good and worth paying attention to. We have Shifting Seasons over here from Pegasus Spiel. I don't know a lot about a lot of these games, by the way. I'm just going to kind of scroll through it and show you what's out here. We have Knowledge from Pegasus Spiel as well. A trivia style game, it looks like. We have Sink or Swim, Evacuation Spots, all of those. We have Raising Chicago from the company that brought you, what's it called? Squaring Circleville, or the designer that brought you, company and designer that brought you Squaring Circleville. Matt Wolf, Spillworks, Raising Chicago over here. That's a heavier Euro. We have Tokyo Highway, which I'm not sure if this is this is Rainbow City. So a new iteration, an expansion to the dexterity game Tokyo Highway, which is fairly popular, but I haven't actually played it myself. We have Junk Art being picked up again. I've talked about that last week. We have the Flatteron over here. No idea what this is for or, what the game's going to be. We have a whole designer diary on Sankori, The Pride of Mansa Musa. A fantastic game that I love. Feel free to check out the diary if you see that. This is literally me scrolling through BG News, but it's mostly because they have a lot of new games, right now. We have over here, we have Tokaido Duo. Skip past that. We have Boreal over here, which again looks great. Peaks looks great. These are all just art, so there's only so much we could have. Oh, Peaks. What's Peaks? This is from Tangerine Games. Oh, cool. Tangerine Games. They did, oh my gosh, that other game that I'm blanking on the name right now. Nestlings. We have Peaks coming from Tangerine Games. We got Kavango. We have Coney over here. Little Rocket Games. I believe they did Hens, and now they're doing Coney as well. We have Fall, which the cover looks great. Don't know about the game. Pixies. The cover looks great. Look at the art of the cards. We have Loot over here. We have Temple Code. Ink It. We have Kira. That's a font. That is a font. I don't even know. Miralix? What is this? What is this? Miracle Mix. That is a font. That is a choice and a decision. Miracle Mix over here. We have a Kleinhorn von Reisenwald over here. So basically a lot of new games. What I'm kind of trying to go with over here. A lot of new games just being shown. I think over here we can finally stop. They slow down a bit right now. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and stop that. So just a lot of new games. In case you're interested in any of those new games that are coming out. I don't know a lot of information about most of them, but new games are constantly still coming out. Don't worry, we aren't running out of games anytime soon. I did see a post the other day. I saw someone posted on a Facebook group saying, it was a poll, and it was saying, if you were told there's no new games coming out for the entire 2024, what would your reaction be? And there were like 4 or 5 options, but like 55% of people said a calm sense of relief. Just let that sit with you. Let that sit for a second. Upon hearing that there are no new games coming out in 2024, 55% of people felt a calm sense of relief. That's a problem. That's like a real problem. That means like we feel so overwhelmed with board games, but we also feel the essential urge to purchase them, which by the way, I'm in that 55%, just so on the same page. I am very much in that 55%. I can finally catch up. I can get ahead. I won't run out of content. I still have 100+ games to review and cover. Sure, it won't be the newest, hottest thing, but I'll get caught up. I would love that. But that's a problem that we are so... It's a problem. It's a problem. That's all I'm saying. It's a problem. Anyways, with that, let's go ahead and dive into the what I played. As usual, this is a small sub-selection of the games I played that I'm choosing to talk about over here, starting with Everdell Farshore, which is still delightful. I played Everdell Farshore this past week, which is great because I haven't played Everdell Farshore and I haven't played Everdell in general in like a few months at least. But Everdell is amazing. It's a great game. I still enjoy it. Farshore is a great iteration upon Everdell. I'm still having a lot of fun with it. I kind of want to go down to play Everdell and just add in the expansions one at a time, going through all of it again because Everdell is so... It's such a good game. It is consistently. There are games that I play that I have a good time. And then there are games that I play that I'm like, I should get rid of all my other games. And then I don't because I'm stupid. But I should get rid of all my other games. And Everdell falls into that latter category. There's a reason it was my number 3 game of all time this past year. It is one of those games that every time I play it, I'm like, I just want to get rid of everything else. I don't need everything else. I just need the 20 best games in my collection. Of course, if you show me the next 20, then I'll be like, no, I need those 2, which is the problem. But Everdell is a delightful time. It still holds up. There's Agamonia. I've been playing through Agamonia over here. I just got through the first 3 tutorials. I was hoping to have a review up. I think there's an embargo date until February 6th for review content, playthrough content. I will have playthrough content up on February 6th. I don't know if I'll have the review yet because I'm out of town the entire next week, which means I won't really have time to play a lot more of it. But I will be playing through as much as I possibly can, and then of course having a review for you as soon as I feel confident that I can. Right now I can't where I am. I've played the first 3 tutorials again. That's the content I've played through in the past doing the prototype stage, and I'm excited to dive into the next mission. I still like Agamonia, still very excited about it, but right now my opinion is only where it was last time, which is I really like the system, but I still need to see so much more of what the system does. It's a game I'm excited for and excited to show you more of it. And then we have over here we have Planet Unknown, which is a game that I am continuously still playing through, but one of the things about Planet Unknown that impresses me is that it's still holding up. I continuously get games of Planet Unknown in, and every time I do, I find new combinations of planets, of powers, and they continuously surprise me as far as new ways to play through a game that's fairly standard and straightforward. It's a game that is not my favorite games ever, but it is consistently holding up, it's consistently fun. I'm enjoying Planet Unknown a lot, and still am enjoying Planet Unknown a lot, which is why I'm going to tell you that, hey, I'm not reviewing Planet Unknown right now because I already reviewed it, but it's still holding up through multiple plays and still showing me new things, which is what I like in a game. I don't like perfection. I like new things. I like being able to see new aspects of a game every time I dive into it. So that's a Planet Unknown. And with that, we have our week in review, starting off the videos last week, starting off with last Saturday, we have Fantasy Realms. I reviewed Fantasy Realms, the deluxe edition specifically from WizKids Games. It has the base game, the expansion, some revised art or whatnot, sleeves, all these other things in it. I enjoy Fantasy Realms. I gave it a 4 out of 5, similar to the way I gave Marvel Remix a 4 out of 5. I think I like the theme of Fantasy Realms a little more. One of those 2 games is staying, the other one's going. For right now, they're both here, but eventually one of them is staying. I don't care for the expansion though. I don't care for the Cursed Horde expansion at all, unfortunately. I like the new cards, but not the actual cursed element deck, so I will not be playing with that ever again in my opinion, but overall 4 out of 5. Later on Saturday I reviewed Santa Maria. Solid dice drafting game, dice placement, some really fun things going on in it. I enjoyed it. There's a whole expansion full of modules as well. I like it, but I don't love it. It's a 3.5 out of 5. I enjoy that one. On Sunday, we had 2 videos go up. We had 8 games if you like Wingspan. First of all, this is a fun little thing. So Dice Tower put out a video series called Pick 6. I think they put it out, I don't know when they put it out, but they did Pick 6 starting with Wingspan right before I put out my video. And so I had a bunch of people being like, Dice Tower just did Pick 6. And then you do the next day, 8 games if you like Wingspan. So first of all, that 8 Games You Like Wingspan video was filmed weeks ago, before Wormspan was even announced. It's part of a series that I started doing, and you can find a few of them. I believe I did 7 games if you like Catan, and 8 games if you like Ticket to Ride. I think those were the numbers. My numbers are very well. Pick 6 is a Dice Tower series they're going to be doing, where they pick a game, and then they give 6 recommendations for that game. If you like this game, you might like these 6 games. My 7 games if you like Catan, or 8 games if you like Ticket to Ride, exact same concept, started several weeks back. I've also filmed 8 games if you like Carcassonne as well. That'll be coming out as well. I don't have a fixed number. I just have whatever number feels right in that probably 6 to 9 range. I mean, I could do 10, I guess, because top 10 lists are a thing, but now I think because top 10 lists are a thing, I almost want to be counter and be like, hey, 7 or 8. But anyways, that's the series I'll be doing. As far as the timing's just coincidental. Sometimes that kind of thing happens, but I'll have more of those videos coming out slowly but surely. My goal is to pick, I'm going to have 8 games you like Zombicide, someone requested that one. I'm going to be picking games that are popular, and then finding offshoots that work for you if you like that game. That's my goal of that series, and that will be continuing. Later on Sunday, we have the last call for Level Up Retreat. Level Up Retreat is, well, soon. Very, very soon. February 2nd to 4th. If you are interested in joining, tickets are still on sale. I believe tickets will be on sale the entire way through up until the retreat, but obviously, you know, things like hotel rooms are harder, and just general your own planning is that. But feel free to check that out. Level Up Retreat, February 2nd to 4th. A lot of playing games, a lot of good times. I hope to see you there. Then Monday we had a 2-back and not to back, going through a bunch of crowdfunding campaigns. There still are crowdfunding campaigns out there, at least right now. There will be more next week. I think we're gonna have a 2-back or not to back next week. The week after next, I do not believe we'll have one. Then that was Tuesday, Tuesday we had a few things. We had a review for Almanac, the Crystal Peaks. I've already reviewed Almanac the Dragon Road a while ago. Crystal Peaks is an overdue review. It's more of the same. If you like one, you'll probably like the other. If you don't like one, I don't imagine you'll like the other. Then later on Tuesday, we had a Stephen Rhodes roundup review, basically going through a bunch of these games. I can't remember all of them. There's a Cryptozoology, there's Don't Call the Exorcist, and another one that I don't remember the name of. But it's a series of 3 games from Stephen Rhodes. They're all more fun than I expected, but none of them have lasted in my collection, which I expected that to happen. And then lastly on Tuesday, we had a sponsored Ivion playthrough. Ivion has a 2-player head-to-head experience where you basically, it's hero crafting. You craft your hero from a few components. You kind of have to take a main class or 2 main classes, then pick a subclass from one of the main classes, and then you go head-to-head on a little skirmish battlefield. A fun little system. That is a sponsored playthrough, though. Then we have on Wednesday. We had a few things. That's not true. Wednesday, we had the top 10 games of 2023. With myself and Meg. I say a few things because if you are a Patreon, Ko-Fi, or YouTube member, then there's an additional video of the 11 through 21 best games of 2023. That is me solo, just going through the additional ones that didn't make the cut for me. Didn't make the cut of the top 10, but are still pretty high up for me. Then on Thursday, we had 3 videos going up. We had a preview for Cryptic Nature. This is a sponsored preview done by Meg of Cryptic Nature, currently on crowdfunding. Then we had a live Q&A. No special topic this week, just a general live Q&A, talking through things while I deal with my slowly buffering internet that is super annoying. I'm trying to get it fixed. And then we have, it's fine, my internet's fine, it's just, it keeps dropping. Like every 12 minutes it drops for like 30 seconds. I don't know why, I don't know what it is, but it is annoying. That was Thursday. Then lastly on Thursday, we had a Dune War for Arrakis unboxing. The game finally arrived, it showed up, and I did an unboxing of Dune War for Arrakis, and now the only question is, when do I get to sit down and play it? And then Friday we had we had 2 videos on Friday going up. We had Where Are They Now for January in general, the past 5 years, going over 5 years of Januaries and the games I played and how they fared over the past 5 years. Then we had our Deluxeification video. This is an ongoing series once a month where I show a bunch of Deluxeified components. Which brings us to today. Today we will have a few things going up. We're going to have a review for Kapow going up, Volume 1 and Volume 2. It's a dice crafting dueling game from Wise Wizard Games. And then lastly we have, or not lastly, next up we're going to have a gameplay of Conquest Princess, doing another scenario. I've covered Conquest Princess as a review, I've done a gameplay before, and I'm doing another gameplay. They are coming back to crowdfunding, where I believe specifically to Kickstarter, to kind of pick up some more backers and give some more content. They're going to have some more stuff available. So if you are someone who backed it or are interested in getting more stuff for it or supporting the creator, Conquest Princess will be coming to Kickstarter soon, and I'll have a gameplay going up today, I think. I'm pretty sure, unless I change it, in which case there'll be something else. We'll see. Anyways, that is today, which brings us to next week. Next week, we're going to have a few things. First of all, we're going to have a fun video going up Sunday. If you've seen me rant in the past about VIP limited pledges, I'm here to rant again. This time about the whole concept of paying $1 to lock in a reward before the crowdfunding campaign ever goes up. Like, hey, sign up for our newsletter. It'll cost you $1, but you'll get something for the campaign. Go ahead and do that. And I think it sucks. So we'll be talking about that later. I have someone at the front door, so I'm going to go ahead and go to that in a second. I forgot to do movie reviews this week. There's no movie reviews this week. Forgot about that. Anyways, then later on Sunday, later next week, we're also going to have what is it again? We're going to have the top 20 games that didn't get put into the top 100 games of all time. So I'm going to have that going up as well. And that brings us to the games on the table. Before I desperately go to find the guy at my front door, we have Jigsaw Roll, Cut, and Collect. This is a roll and cut game. I plan on playing this. It looks adorable. It might be terrible. I have no idea. But it's a roll and cut. Like, genuinely, it comes with 6 pairs of scissors. You cut along lines, and I don't know why or how, but I'm intrigued by the concept. We have Flow over here from Pika Games, hope to be diving into this one soon, and then we have Vampire Chapters, which has an upcoming campaign, so I'm finally diving into it because of the pressures of doing so and getting content out there. I've already played through the prologues, and now I need to play through the starting game to see how this one fares. I'll have some sort of either first impressions or review up, depending on how much I get done before the campaign goes live. In any case, until next time, I'm Alex Radical from Board Game Co. I appreciate you being here. Sorry for the lack of movie reviews. I know you're all heartbroken. I usually try to do those at the end. I forgot to put in the notes because I'm trying to get everything done before I leave for an entire week next week between going on vacation with my family and Level Up Retreat. It's going to be a packed week. So I need to go get things done. In any case, until next time, thank you so much for being here. And as always, I hope you have a good one.